Okay, Team Jolynn, I've got your work up here, and you guys are looking good. So let me see. We have Jolynn, Peyton, and Riley. Interactive prototype of the kiosk. What's the process book? Okay, we got them both, so that's cool. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. So let's take a look first at the. Let me see. There's your process book. So okay, so let's look at the process. No, let's look at the prototype first. Okay, and in order to do so, I'm just going to start setting myself up here because I want to be able, for you guys to be able to see everything on the screen. So let's do that. Okay, so here's our getting started screen. I don't want these screens to interfere, so I'm just going to try to bring these up a little bit. Sorry, I should have had this all set up before we got started, but all right, so let's go ahead and take a look. This is really fantastic work, so let's go ahead and take a look. So we have getting started. So we click the getting started. I know what model I like, and I'm going to go back here because actually there is no back arrow. Okay, that back arrow does not work. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's a PDF. I just scroll up. Got it. Okay, so I'm just, some of these work, it seems, and some of them don't. So let's just go through scroll. Let's go scroll through, okay? All right, so getting started, definitely the world of Audi, getting started. All right, good job. I like the color continuation here from the cover to the footer area. That's pretty cool. Okay, and then you've carried on that color with your choices. Again, that's a really good design choice there. I know the model I'd like to begin. So you're starting with a questionnaire. That's fantastic. I know the model I'd like to begin. So we skip the questionnaire. Let's start with the questionnaire for model recommendations. I'd like to enter the barcode from the Audi app. Okay, so enter the Audi model, submit, let vehicles main use. Okay, so we're still in the questionnaire. That's fantastic, good stuff. Okay, based on your questionnaire, here's the options we think will work for you. All right, I would give reasons why here. So maybe just some sort of a paragraph somewhere that says based on your driving condition, preferences, your age, but whatever. Just try to give a little bit of an idea as to what these choices are based on. So letting the viewer know that these choices are based on your questionnaire, but give the reasons why. Okay, so for example, if you're interested in driving on both terrains, yeah, you would want something that could handle that. So that points to an SUV, right? Okay, so you select your car, you start customization. All right, here we go. So we've got exterior color, exterior finish, and I don't think I would group exterior and interior on the same page. I would probably isolate those. Then we have seasonal packages. Now remember, guys, in these pages here, engine selection and seasonal package, remember pictures. I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's literally the way that works. So adding just pictures are going to add a high degree of engagement for the viewer. So just keep that in mind. Even a picture of an engine here and a picture of an engine here. All right, so then we have our other added accessories. This page looks great. Why? Because there's images. I'm a little concerned about a couple of the images. This seems to be a low resolution image. This seems to be a low resolution image. Check that. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, but you don't want to include low res images in your work. Okay, so then we have my Audi Q7. Here's our configuration. Again, you might consider, well, I don't know if adding images. Now this is good. This is good. So there's your configurator. So you can send a quote. Now, at this page, if you're planning on employing a driving simulator, I would say, or depending on how you are going to view this. So how do we view this? Are we going to use virtual reality headset? Is it going to be a holographic projection? Do you see what I'm saying? So we need a way to go, okay, I want to visualize this. So I'm going to send this. So let's say you choose a holographic projection. So there would be a button on this page saying, okay, send to projection. So that, you can send the information. That way you can get a 360 walk around looking at the car, the actual size, the actual tires, and a projection of the inside as well, okay? And then also in the configurator, I would recommend that we have some sort of global navigation in case somebody changes their mind some way through here. So if I change my mind through here, right here, I go, oh, you know what? Gosh, I kind of want that white. I changed my mind. I want the white. So how do you go back? How do you get back to the select exterior color to change to white? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, there's your car. Here's your price. Wow, that's hefty. Got the QR code. Send to salesperson. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, or request a loan officer. Excellent. Thank you. Sending plan to loan officer. Someone will be with you shortly. That's great. But the only thing I'm missing here is how do we actually see the car, then the configurator? This is going to be on the screen, or can we add some robust deep dive immersion techniques like things like a holographic projection or VR headset? Okay. So you guys are really, really doing good stuff here. Good job. Let's go ahead and jump over to the process book. All right, Audi Deep Dive again, carrying that red through. That's excellent. Right now, though, I think this red frame is really jarring. I think it really steals hierarchy from it's. You guys, you know how hierarchy works, right? So the biggest and brightest things on the page are going to draw our attention first. So this frame is pulling away from the impact of the actual work within that page. I would reconsider that frame, that big red frame. I think it's really distracting. Design team, good job, good job. Problem analysis. Okay, this is not the problem. The problem is not that. This might be the problem with Audi, that they don't have a current configurator. But remember, this is deep dive. We're looking for the big picture, the big problem. The big problem, I think, as we talked about in class, is an industry-wide issue pointing to the inefficiencies of the current car buying process, in that it is geared more towards the dealership and this manufacturer than it is human-centered design. It's not geared towards the ultimate purchaser or the human in human-centered design, right? And that's what we want to do. So we want to enumerate on that in the problem analysis, saying that we're not just building a configurator. We're after changing the way people buy cars. Okay, that's the big underlying problem here, and I think that needs to be addressed here. Okay, so then now the kiosk, of course, is part of that solution, but I think to enumerate on the fact that is the main problem. The main problem isn't that Audi doesn't have a configurator. The main problem is the way that the purchasing process is set up in this country. And presumably other countries. I don't know how car purchase process works in other countries, but this is a problem in our country. Okay, now as far as this page goes, design-wise, the type is encroaching on the image. That's a situation you don't want to be in. Okay. Also, these images are transparency back. They're screened back. They're not at full opacity. Remember the power of image, guys. I would reconfigure this page to add a full transparent, fully opaque image without any kind of screen back, no semi-transparency there. That's a widow. You don't want that. Your indent is too deep. I don't even think since there's not multiple paragraphs on this page, you don't even need an indent. Okay, want to watch that widow. No words on the lines alone. Okay, same thing with this as far as the type encroaching. I want to talk about this addressing a problem called for creativity in order to get where we got. We had to come up with a prototype that wouldn't address the problem itself, but also provide easy, simple. Okay, now you're addressing the problem here. Okay, right now you're talking about prototypes here. Do you want to talk about how you're addressing the problem? This might be a fairly lengthy page because you want to describe exactly what you're doing. So you're not just building a prototype. You're not just building a kiosk. Your goal is to change the way the process works, right? So you want to describe, okay, is it going to be a mobile app? You want to describe, tell the story. Okay, are you going to include a mobile app for the configurator that you can send to the dealership and have that information there waiting for you so that you can then send it to a projection, holographic projection or VR headset? Do you see what I'm saying? Is there a questionnaire involved? You have that questionnaire, talk about that. The configurator, is there a financial calculator involved so that the customer can figure out how much of their monthly income is going to be spent on the car? A financial calculator including insurance costs based on your choice of car, your age, and your driving record. So all of that stuff should be addressed in addressing the problem. Okay, this page is really, really important. Okay, initial idea sketches, great, sketches. Okay, and then we have mock-ups and VR screen. So initial ideas, mock-ups. So we do have a VR screen. So it looks like initial ideas, mock-ups, initial ideas, mock-ups, innovative design thinking. Okay, guys, there's one problem I'm having, and that is at this point right here, you've got your initial ideas, but you haven't talked about which is your final idea, or is it going to be a combination of the three initial ideas? Okay, so that again needs to be addressed. It could be addressed in addressing the problem page, and it should also be addressed in, okay, this is our final solution. Okay, and then include a page like this with all of the things that are going to be involved in the final solution. Okay, innovative design thinking. I want to take a quick read here, so bear with me for 1 second. Okay, again, another widow, and again, that type is encroaching on that semi-transparent image. Look at the at-home options. We create a programming that would be able to provide these things. The kiosk located at a dealership would provide the customization options. Okay, is there going to be a mobile app that ties into the kiosk so you can configure at home, send that information to the dealership, and then call that information up when you get to the dealership? Customer would then utilize the system connected to the kiosk and take a look inside the car. Okay, what system is that? Is that projection, or is that VR headset? Is that augmented reality? Is that virtual reality? Or is that a holographic projection or something else? Okay, also give it a test drive. So again, talk about this test drive. So talk about, so the way I would see the situation is this, okay, you've got two ways to configure the car. One is from a mobile app that you send at a dealership. The other is going into the dealership and using their kiosk to configure the vehicle. At that point, you send that information. You can summarize that information, print yourself up a report, take it right to a salesperson who can set this thing up and find a similar vehicle on either their lot or another dealership's lot and arrange a test drive. Okay, if there is a virtual test drive, then at that point you can send the information to the virtual test drive where you can configure in the test drive different road conditions, etc. Now this would be a simulator, right? So it should have to include some kind of a pod that has hydraulics to move it around, simulating road conditions, etc. Right? And then, so what do? We send the configurator information, or we go to the dealership to complete the configurator information. We send that to the projection, the VR or the holograph, to look at the car. Then we can say if we like that, we can send that information to the simulator to set that program up for a driving simulation. Okay, changing this. So that again really needs to be described in your. This is a great start, but let's really. And I love this augmented reality of picturing the car in your in your home, your driveway, or even to see if it fits in your own garage. Right? Okay, changing the situation. Using VR to view the interior. So you're saying VR, is that a headset though? That's what I'm wondering. You know, let's go to test drive. Then able to take the car home by using a phone app in order to show the customer their vehicle. Yeah, okay, good, but we just need a little bit more description there. Alex is 40, 3 children and married. Max is 24, no children, not married. That's good. That's good. He's got kids. Kids will be in the car. He doesn't. Kids won't be in the car. Jenny is single. I'm sorry, she's married, no children. She's 30, male and female, 24, not married, no kids, 30, married, no kids. I guess that's a big enough difference. So good jobs creating a differentiation in your personas. Good job. Okay, scenarios. Okay, final sketches. Okay, so I'm thinking the really user testing. Excellent. Good job. Fantastic. And then you've got. You might consider taking the user testing over to 2 pages. Right now, this type here is different than this type here, so that's pointing away from consistency. Remember to keep your typography as consistent as possible. Okay, so testing. Yeah, you might have to go to 2 pages on your testing analysis. Digital wireframes. So we just talked about that. So that's fantastic. So my only question, really, and the one thing I'm not understanding is the story, the process. How does this work? And again, describe it. Go from the mobile app. The mobile app is the same interface as the kiosk. Okay, when you're done with the mobile app, you can send it to the dealership. When you're done with the kiosk, you can generate a report. You can either take that report to the salesperson or the finance person, or you can send it off to the VR projection or holograph. You can look at your car at full size with all of your choices. At that point, you can once you okay that, you can send that information to a driving simulator. Okay. At that point, you can change road conditions, et cetera, et cetera. Once you're complete with the driving simulator, then you can either, you can send it up to set up a real test drive with a similar vehicle, either on that lot or another dealership lot, and then you can make your final choices for purchase. And then in the interim, in there somewhere, there's a financial calculator where where you can figure out the percentage of your total payment. You can also figure out what the car's worth in 10 years with 150,000 miles on it or whatever. Okay, so just really try to start adding everything together. You don't have to prototype everything, but in your writing, just allude the story from A to Z. Exactly how does everything work? Okay, I think once you add that, I think, guys, you are right in there. It's really, really good work there. You guys have been busy, and this is really fantastic stuff. Now, as far as design goes, real quick, boy, I'm over 16 minutes. I'm just trying to really keep your typography as consistent as possible, and watch those widows and stuff like this. This looks so much better than this with the alignment right here. So really want to work on that and keep consistent as possible, guys. Okay, any questions, comments, concerns, or clarifications, please let me know. I'll be glad to provide any of the above. And of course, questions paramount. And we got to wrap this up this week. So the clock's ticking, guys. So let me know if you have any questions. Great job, guys.